Hi YouTube, this is Jake Shirley at jakeshirleycoaching.com. I want to tell a little story today and then talk about an experience I had recently, and I just want to talk a little bit more about credit cards. If you're new here, I'm against credit cards. I don't think people should be using them. But today we're going to talk about why. I've heard this story. This is my website, by the way. I've heard this story several times from different places, and this is the website I got this particular version from right here if you wanted to check it out. So it's called Girl and the Snake. A young girl walking along a mountain path to a grandmother's house heard a rustle at her feet. Looking down, she saw a snake. But before she could react, the snake spoke to her. "I am about to die," he said. "It's too cold for me up here and I am freezing. There's no food in these mountains and I am starving. Please put me under your coat and take me with you." "No," the girl replied. "I know you're kind. You are a rattlesnake, and if I pick you up, you will bite me, and your bite is poisonous." "No, no," the snake said. "If you help me, you will be my best friend. I will treat you differently." The young girl sat down on a rock for a moment to rest and think things over. She looked at the beautiful markings on the snake, and she had to admit he was the most beautiful snake she had ever seen. Suddenly she said, "I believe you. I will save you. All living things deserve to be treated with kindness." She then reached over, put the snake gently under her coat, and continued toward her grandmother's house. Within a moment, she felt a sharp pain in her side. The snake had bitten her. "How could you do this to me?" she cried. "You promised that you would not bite me, and I trusted you. You knew what I was when you picked me up," he hissed as he slithered away. I was at a store recently making a purchase, and the cashier asked if I wanted to sign up for their store card. And right away I said no. I had almost a physical reaction to it, a negative physical reaction, because I believe so strongly now that I don't use credit cards, and I'm not going to let anyone talk me into getting one. She started talking about benefits. There's store discounts, there's a built-in savings account. And they say, you're gonna be buying stuff at our store anyway. Why not get the card? And I just said no, and it was obvious they didn't understand why. They were confused, like they didn't understand why I wouldn't want this card. And I didn't even try explaining it to them. But the thing is, when you decide that you're not going to use debt anymore, a lot of people aren't going to understand. Because a lot of people just use debt as just a part of their life. They have a credit card, they have store cards. They think they're winning the game because they're building up points or airline miles or whatever. They're getting cash back, They think they're going to beat the credit card companies at their own game. So this idea that if you're gonna buy stuff you're gonna buy anyway, may as well use a credit card, get points back. Well, I believe that people tend to spend more when they're using a credit card, because people don't really realize it, they don't think about it, but they're not really spending money when they use a credit card. What they're doing is taking out a really small loan, whether it's $5, $500, or whatever. It's really just taking out a small loan. They don't actually pay with actual money until the balances or the statement comes in the mail. Then that's when they pay actual money for it. Until then, they didn't really spend any money. It's only I've experienced this myself when I used to use credit cards. I didn't feel the sting of spending that money until the statement came in the mail and I had to make the payment back. That's when I felt the sting of actually spending money. So using a credit card actually makes it, it's less of an emotional sting, not really a sting at all, because in our minds and our hearts we understand that we're not really spending money. So I think people tend to spend more when they use a credit card. So that kind of, shoots down the idea of this is money we were going to spend anyway. Well, maybe, but maybe not. Having a credit card also invites temptation into our lives. We tend to be impatient. A lot of us, we want things now. And a credit card makes it far too easy to make a big purchase that we don't have the money for yet. And it just opens the door for bad things to happen, really. I mean, you make a big purchase on the credit card, and the next day you lose your job. Well, you still have to pay that thing off, you know. Or who knows what might happen. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I believe that to deny bad things ever happen is just being delusional. So things do happen. And having a credit card it makes it too easy to buy things we can't afford yet instead of saving up to pay for them. So having a credit card it makes us feel like there's a shortcut when there's really not. So let's get back to the story of the girl and the snake. So what was the point of that story? Well, she looked at the snake, and the snake had beautiful markings on it. It promised it would not hurt her. That's sort of like a credit card. You look at a credit card, you got a shiny new credit card. All the numbers are shiny. It's pretty to look at. But a credit card it's still using debt. And like the snake, you use a credit card, you're playing with fire, and you play with fire, you're going to get burned. You pick up a snake, you're going to get bit. It's in the nature of a snake to bite. So what is a credit card? A credit card is a far too convenient way to take out a small loan. It doesn't matter if it's $5, $500, $1,000. You're taking out a loan for that money. You didn't actually spend the money yet. It's a loan that you have to pay back. It only takes one unexpected event to make it so you cannot pay the credit card off the next month. A lot of people think, well, I pay it off every month, I get points, what's the big deal? Well, it only takes one unexpected event to mess that whole plan up. Debt only works when everything works, and nothing ever works perfectly like we hope and expect it to. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to share that story, and I've heard it before, and I wanted to share it. And using a credit card is playing with debt, playing with fire, and you're going to get burned. Just like the girl who picked up the snake and got bit. Even though the snake, promised it wouldn't hurt her, you know. You think, a credit card I get cash back, I get points, I get airline miles or whatever. I get discounts in the store. It makes all these nice promises, but then it bites. So that's what a credit card does. So I just wanted to share that today. And people aren't going to understand. And you have to stop caring about that, because people aren't going to understand if you decide not to use debt. But that's what I'm going to coach people to do. And my website is Jake Shirley Coaching. And thank you for watching.